Who?
Barry Trotz. And
he's the president.
If I were at Barry Trotz, I'd be asking my general manager why we currently sit 31st in goals in the league. Only the Anaheim Ducks have scored less goals than the Nashville Predators, who are tied with the Detroit Red Wings. However, Nashville has conceded more goals. They're currently a -12. They have 29 goals for, 41 goals against.
They only have 29 goals?
That's right. And the Ducks have 25.
How many games have they played?
They've played 12 games, Jesse. That's just about 2 goals, just over 2 goals.
Not good.
How much are you going to win? How much are you going to win? Now, their PDO is interesting. It's a 96.9.
Okay, so that's low.
So we expect that to, I hate when people say regress to the mean. I think it's progress. If it's going up, it's progressing to the mean.
Shut up. You know what? You're wrong, but you're right.
I'm taking it.
I'm saying
Adam's very right about that.
And I think at 2.42 goals a game, that they could do better. And
hot take.
What I need to know is, okay, Steve, you said something this offseason, and you've said this a couple of times when the Leafs have made a bunch of key additions in one offseason, is that when new guys come in, especially I look at a guy like Stamkos, a guy like Brady Shea, they have been in their respective systems playing their respective versions of hockey with 2 of the best NHL coaches of this era for 10 years.
Yep.
And then they got to come in. Andrew Burnett's a very good coach.
Yeah, and a lesser degree, Jonathan Marchessault, who's been with Vegas since its inception.
Right. And so you're looking at guys that have been in long-term systems, and a team like Nashville that didn't have a lot of success with their system until the U2 thing, right?
Yes.
And then they had a bazillion games where they didn't lose in regulation. I get it. I think you got to give these guys just a little bit more time. Do you really think Steven Stamkos is going to sit at 1 or 2 goals for the rest of the year?
Yeah, but it's November 6th now. And
are you saying it's getting late early?
There's something about that calendar turn and all the, you know what? Oh boy, that bucket of candy's getting real light.
Yeah.
You know, all the poppies are out. Then the 11th comes. Then it's the 12th. Now there's no poppies, and you're like, okay. Well, okay, so what am I preparing for? It's Christmas, and there's that weird no man's land. You don't want to be still struggling in the no man's land before there's a moment where Christmas season officially begins and all the music starts to play and you get the holly jollies on.
It's November 12th, yes.
There it is. But there's something between November 12th and December 1st where you've got nothing to think about other than we only have 29 frigging goals.
Yeah, well, okay.
And that is not enough.
The numbers support that they just need some more time to get it going. They're 15th in expected goals for.
Which is fine.
And what do you say, 30th and 31st in goals for and the actual tally?
31st.
That's egregious
yes.
from where you're expected to be. And their shooting percentage is the 30th worst in the league.
Who the hell's worse?
The Islanders and the Oilers.
Oh, wow.
Both of those track for different reasons.
Exactly. Like there's reason to believe that this is a chemistry thing. And Adam mentioned the PDO as well. That PDO is ridiculous in 94%.
That's so low.
That's
the thing
that's
about
bad.
PDO, though, is it can last a year. It can last a whole season.
It can, but I think there's enough evidence here that they'll get back to the mean. They'll progress up to the mean. You look at the talent. You look if they can get a couple more saves. Their save percentage is also pretty low. Their save percentage is their 5th worst save percentage in the league. Like that's got to improve as well. So I don't believe that they're going to be this all season long. But as Steve said, you don't want to dig yourself in such a hole that it's going to be impossible to climb out of, and it can get late real quick.
To support that point, let me just say this before you jump in.
Sure.
Steven Stamkos, I just did some quick math, is on pace for 14 goals this year.
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
This guy had 40 last year, and even if he
you're coming to Stamkos' defense?
Oh, listen, even if he hits 30 in a defensive Nashville system, that's just not going to happen. All you need is Steven Stamkos to score for you once every 2 to 3 games.
That's not even really what they are anymore. They shot the lights out against the Canucks. They didn't bloody go in.
Well, they did. Yeah, and the Canucks only got 12 shots a game and still scored and won. I think the problem with Nashville last year in the playoffs, funnily enough, was finish. They did not finish.
I want to ask you about a player because there's a guy who every time I watch Canucks highlights or anything, he's involved.
Quinn Hughes, good at hockey.
He is pretty good at hockey. No, the Canucks fan base seems to have fallen in love with him, and I think Nashville misses him, like in a really low key
Connor Garland.
bottom six kind of way. Kiefer Sherwood.
Kiefer Sherwood. Oh.
What a hunk of shit.
I know.
But who I would love on my team.
Yes. Valuable. Man, he was a factor in that first round. He really was.
What a motor mouth.
Yep.
Like what a just a nuisance.
Yes.
Your team needs nuisances though.
Yep.
They really need nuisances, and I just...
Who is the nuisance for Nashville now? I wonder.
Well, and they don't have Yakov Trenin anymore either.
And also, if your team is living and dying on Kiefer Sherwood, respectfully.
No, I know.
But you do need
it's
vibes,
death
guys.
by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, you need vibes, guys. And
Right?
you need, yeah.
You're completely turning things over.
Yep.
It's a very, very, very different team, and I think you started the discussion with it. It takes a long time to gel, and there were a lot of additions this year, and that sucked up a lot of the oxygen. A lot of subtractions in Nashville too.
And you had Ryan O'Reilly guys say, and I respect the honesty here, because he, you know, when he left Buffalo, he was like, I lost my joy for hockey.
Mm-hmm. I respect it.
And then a couple nights ago, he said, that's the worst game I've ever played in the NHL. And I respect
That last night.
Oh, was that last night?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Wasn't that the last game they played?
Yeah, or whatever the last game.
Or yeah, not.
It was
last-
Monday night,
day before-
but it was
yeah.
recently.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Two
He
nights
said
ago.
this
2 nights ago.
Said it this week.
Yes.
And I love a player that owns that.
Mm-hmm.
I was really mad at him for leaving, but I can't not love Ryan O'Reilly. And so when you have a guy saying that, and you have Trotz going, "Oh, we're going to start the rebuild." No, you're not. No, you're not. Sorry, Barry.
That's just
no,
a
you're not.
quote.
But these are professional athletes, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And for Barry to even say that, it's not that he's actually going to do it. It's that these guys are full of pride, and he just insulted that pride.
Yep.
And they have remember, Tom Brady. Nobody believed we could do this. We were only the number 1 seed and won every game this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something where they're able to kind of grab that and go, screw you, man.
He's trying to create YouTube 2.0.
Yes.
Like after U2, they went, 13 or 18 games without a regulation
insane.
loss or whatever it was.
14-0-4 or whatever.
It's crazy. Like he's trying to galvanize the troops again and get them back to that position. But one thing Ryan O'Reilly said when he was talking about it was the worst game of my life that I thought was really interesting that I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on is after that quote in that scrum, he also said, I think we need to get out of town and figure this out, he said. It's very frustrating. On the road, I think it's a little easier. You can just show up and play. I thought that was a fascinating quote from a guy who played in Toronto and is now again talking about the media being on them in Nashville.
Too bright in Nashville now, Ryan?
I mean, they are a well-followed team.
What do you guys think of that?
I think that's somebody that is blaming people showing up and enjoying hockey, and therefore covering hockey for his own fault. And that is that. I can't stand that shit, man. I thought you played in the real NHL. This is where Ryan O'Reilly loses me. This is where that's where when the Leafs offer you, your hometown team offers you the same deal as the Preds. You take the Preds deal, even though I get the tax-free thing. I get it, all that. But then you come back on the radio and go, yeah, they need to de-emphasize the core four after you've signed somewhere else.
What are you trying to say about the Blues, Ryan?
Yeah, did the Blues with 60 years of history not have people following them? I think what's annoying.
How did the conversation go? Hey, Ryan, the parade's tomorrow. Fuck.
Yeah. Here's what you need to do, Ryan. Stop reading the articles. Stop reading the tweets.
Now, here's another way to interpret that. Did he accidentally say we need a green light night?
What's a green light night?
It's when a team is doing really, really bad. And so they all go out and just get completely fucked up. Just to reset themselves. And then they show up to work the next day and they get back to work.
Maybe they do.
Where's this road trip they got going on? Hold on. Are they going to Vegas?
Oh, boy.
Predators.
Oh, boy. Most teams don't say that. Hey, we need to start winning again. We need to go to Vegas.
The Preds road trip. So they lost to the Kings Monday night, that 3-0.
Oh, that's bad.
That 3-0 drubbing. Then they go to Washington, to Florida, back home against Utah.
They got to go to Washington and then travel to Florida the next night.
Yeah, so you got to go up to Washington, back down to Florida, come back home to Ottawa against Utah. Then you fly out to Colorado, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Seattle. So this little road trip here is where Ryan O'Reilly's probably like, thank God, I don't have to.
Well, and what you
the media doesn't have to.
Oh yeah, thank God I got to go to Canada. I don't think that's what Ryan O'Reilly's thinking.
I actually think he's saying, listen, if you want to beat the Capitals, take a bunch of penalties. They can't score.
Damn.
That's the only way to stop the Capitals is to put them on the power play.
Hasn't been said, man. I'm just saying, if this keeps up, here, Jesse, pull that back up. 17th, all eyes on the Roxy. All eyes on the Roxy in Vancouver if the Preds are still struggling by the 17th.
Okay.
They are going to tear that place up.
Ryan O'Reilly's going to have a lot of fun on this, 2-week road trip through Colorado, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, and Seattle.
Adam, what's your favorite green light night place in Calgary?
Yeah, okay. You're on this road trip, Adam. Where are you having the most fun?
Where do you go to feel sorry for yourself?
Friday night in Calgary, right?
Listen, I would say friend of the show, Greta YYC. That's what I would say. Greta Bar, YYC, check it out.
No.
Boo this man.
No, I'm just, it wasn't a sponsored segment.
Well, I know, but they're also actually great.
Adam is giving his earnest opinion.
Back in the day, when I was there, it was Hudson's.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.